So tens of thousands of fans packed into the city today, and they got here for the World Cup game, a large part because of light rail. Joining us now is Henry Bendon from Sound Transit. First of all, you were inside.
I was. It was fantastic. It was a huge win for the United States today, and it was a huge win for transit riders. We saw on Monday 210,000 boardings. Took the train down. It's third highest day in agency history. And I'll tell you what, we're not over yet because there's a Mariners game that's close to sold out tonight behind us. So it's really halftime for transit.
Well, I should clarify.
Yeah.
When I say inside, I meant inside the stadium for the big match today, which was incredible. How did this compare, the transportation of so many people, like to the Super Bowl, to the big parade that we had?
It's fairly comparable. So the number one day all time for light rail ridership in Seattle was when we had the Seahawks Super Bowl parade just earlier this year. Our top 3 days are all this year. It's Seahawks Super Bowl parade, the opening of the Cross Lake connection, and then on Monday. And today, with the enormous crowds in the stadium, but also the fan zones that are all accessible from transit and everything else that's building up around it, combined with the Mariners event and the fact that we see that people really do love to take the train on a weekend day. And this is kind of a weird hybrid. People are down here at work, and people are also out celebrating because it's Juneteenth and going to those festivities. So there's a lot of reasons to be on a train today. We don't have hard numbers yet because we're honestly still carrying the people, but early reports look really good. Not only is service going smoothly, we have gone out of our way and seen huge success in making sure that even with these huge crowds, our passengers with accessibility needs can get on the train right away. Trains themselves are moving fast, but also lots of people are on them.
Any hiccups at all anywhere for people trying to get here?
We had a tiny little delay on a Sounder S-Line train that was hanging out behind an Amtrak, and it still got people here an hour before kickoff. So no real issues to report so far. I don't want to get out ahead of ourselves because we are, in fact, still working today. We'll be running trains every 4 minutes between Linwood and International District until 1 in the morning, every 8 minutes on both branch lines. That's the 1 and 2 line.
I heard on Monday Sound Transit operated more trains than any other day. I don't know what the numbers were, but at the same time, tell me what the numbers were and how that worked, and did you do the same thing today?
So we operated 46 trains, which was not our high number, but 174 light rail vehicles making up those trains, which was, and that meant we had more capacity in the system than we've ever seen before. We did that again today, and a lot of that went in the preparation. We've been planning for this for over a year. When the Cross Lake connection opened in March, we saw a lot more demand on our rail cars. We only have 200 and something odd. It's somewhere 220 range vehicles, and they need maintenance and they go out of service. And when you carry a ton of people every day and you have a lot of miles on you, a train is down more than a car, basically. But so on Monday, we were able to run 3 car trains on the 2 line, on every single 2 line train for the very first time. That was the most capacity we'd ever seen on that train to Redmond and back. And today we're doing it again.
A lot of people like to use the bikes and scooters, but you can't bring those on the trains, at least while this is going on. So what do you have in terms of advice for those folks who want to take their bike, but they can't bring them on the train?
Well, you know, I'd say bear with us. There's only 6 of these match days this year, and when you have a Super Bowl level crowd, we know that bikes and scooters are really important to people's commute. I really love the Lime scooter home from a train, that little last mile connection, and those are absolutely kind of perfect on a day like this, where they're posted up outside. There's a designated parking area. Really love what the city's done to make sure that there's all these parking areas that you can just put that bike in where it's out of the way. So today might be a day to Lime bike if you normally ride your bike. But
good idea.
You know,
hang in there.
Yeah, hang in there. We need these trains for people. That's the #1 priority, and then every other day we'll get back to bikes on board.
Okay, we have 4 more matches in Seattle out of the 6. What have you learned from the first couple that you're going to bring forward for the rest of the matches that
we brought a lot from match 1 into match 2, and you know, one of the really important things we'd messaged coming into this is preferred station alternatives. We are sitting on top of International District Chinatown, which is the big middle station, but we want people to use all 3: Pioneer Square, International District, and Stadium. Especially if you're coming from the north, go back to Pioneer Square. If you're coming from the south, go back to Stadium, and then if you're going east, use International District. But we know lots of people come to International District anyway because it's closest. In between Monday and today, we separated our south and eastbound train lines, so they're kind of next to each other now in Disneyland lines, and we moved where the fare validators were. We put some temporary ones in the front of those lines so that people can come in, they tap, they get in the line of the train they're going to go in, and then when that train comes in, our security lets them down on the platform all at once, no waiting, no tapping, and they get on and go. We are doing a bunch of other things to keep you moving safely. But for game day operations like this, we have a great team behind them, fantastic people working on them. But also, you know, we've got we've got that metering system set up so that about 60-65% of the train is full and the train goes away because it's got to pick up people at other stations.
Yeah.
It's important to remember that's why the trains aren't leaving jam-packed.
Right.
They're going somewhere, and then they're off.
Okay, it's working the way it's supposed to. It sounds like it's been super successful with just some minor little hiccups that you've already resolved. Thanks so much for being with us, Henry Bendon.
Thanks
from
for having
Light
me.
Rail. Appreciate it.